Mic check, mic check. Can I get a yer? You from the Bronx. Let me get a better yer.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode. I am your host, TheOnlyKayla, and today I have a very special guest. Today I have Black Ink Crew's newest cast member, Suzette Samuel. Suzette, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing. How are you?
I'm good. So we've seen Black Ink Crew season 9, and it's finally wrapped up. Right. You are the latest cast member. How has it been on being casted on this show and being a part of Black Ink Crew New York?
I mean, honestly, it's, I've been around the cast prior to, becoming a cast member. Of course, I'm dating Ceaser, so that causes me to be around the business here and there. So, I mean, everybody's cool, Really, the only thing I have to get used to is, like, everybody having something to say, the whole public aspect when I'm, like, a private person. But outside of that, it's been good.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like anytime someone steps into reality TV, it's like there's like a microscope on your life, and you have to deal with so much criticism. People always got something to say, and I think that's the side that a lot of people don't really talk about, is the scrutiny that you now open yourself to and your family, and it can get crazy.
I mean, I don't pay it no mind. Like, I'm just one of them people. I don't care what people have to say. Like, I know what I do for me and mine, my daughters, my man, and stuff like that behind closed doors. So it's just more so, like, regardless of what you do, you can't control the narrative. So it's like, even like watching the episode, it'd be like, oh, okay. Damn, they took that out. Damn, I said that.
That's another thing. That's another thing that I've interviewed a lot of people who either are on reality television or are thinking of doing it, and that's the one thing that always gets them is like the editing. Like, they'll be like, we filmed for hours, and then when you finally see the episode, you're like, wait, I didn't say that.
That's it?
Or like it was mashed up, or like it. So is that hard for you at all? Like, this season specifically, did you say something that you feel like maybe was misconstrued, or did you explain on something and that you feel like maybe it was edited out?
All right, so it's more so like, damn, we had a whole conversation about this, and that's the line they picked? Like, oh, hell nah. It was more so that, but, I mean, I have no complaints. I just feel like you said, reality TV is just a microscope, on what you have going on. Outside of that, I am a businesswoman. I have my own businesses outside of the TV thing, so it's not really it's just more so being attached to who I'm attached to now.
Yes.
So it's more so that, but girl, honestly, I don't care. Like, I'm just one of them people that's just... Because, I have a life outside this app, outside of social media. I could close the app. I'm happy. Like, I'm not putting on the front for the internet. So it don't affect me as much. And I don't have self-esteem issues. Yeah. So I think it's more so for the people that are going through. It's harder for people that have self-esteem issues or, are really not one way and pretend to be. So it's like they can't find the balance between the two, reality and real life. But,
And I think also what's good for you is that you were somebody way before Ceaser. Right. You had your own money before him, and you guys are really dating. Yeah. So I think that sometimes, like you mentioned, there's people who want to get on Love and Hip Hop or get on these other shows, and they have to create a storyline. But this is really who you are. You're authentic. This is who you're dating. And I love to see you on this season, especially because you're from the Bronx. Yeah. Shout out to the Bronx.
Shout out to the Bronx, yeah.
What part of the Bronx are you from?
So I grew up around Burnside.
Okay.
Before I made my exit, I was in the South Bronx. So like Third Ave,
yes,
Avenue over there.
Okay. So I grew up in Hunts Point. Okay. And then from there I moved to Throgs Neck. So still on the East Tremont.
Yeah, you was in a nice area.
Yeah. Later in life, I was in nice. In like the first 13 years of my life, we lived in the hood.
Right.
Because, Hunts Point, I mean, it's gentrified now, but like back then it was really bad.
Oh, yeah.
But, so yeah, I was happy to see you as a new cast member, one, because you are from the Bronx and you're on a New York show. But you live in Atlanta now and you've been here for some time now. How cool is it to be on a New York show, represent for New York, but have them step into your hometown? Like, not hometown, but like step into where you're at now in Atlanta?
It was dope. And it's crazy because now it's like, so when you're from New York and when you live in New York, we think that's how life is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know, the struggle, the persona, the attitude, the aggressiveness, like that's just second nature to us. So it's like once you start traveling and you go to these other places and you see how different it is from the air. Yes. To the people, to the food, to the entertainment, to just everything, you know? Like, I didn't really level up until I left New York and came to Atlanta. Like, Atlanta gave me opportunities that I was not getting in New York, you know, being my skin complexion and stuff like that. So, you know, it was one of the best decisions of my life. Mm-hmm. You know, and even with that, I was able to elevate into who I am now, you know, with the credit, with the real estate and stuff like that. So I hate going back home, honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree with you because when I first moved out here, my family moved out here, and I was like, I don't want to move to Atlanta. Like, you know, as a New Yorker, you never see yourself out of New York, but you're tired of the ways of living in New York, right? You're struggling, you hustling, you got to have like 6-7 jobs.
You got to sell fish dinners, you got to rob niggas, you got to be in the club, you got to do everything.
Just to make ends meet. Just to make ends meet. And at the end of the day, you make ends meet and you still live in the hood. Like, it's crazy, you know? And then after moving out here, and then, you know, I had my daughter, it just showed me of what I don't want to go back to. Like, just like you said, it was funny. Spider, when he came, he was like, wow, the air is different out here. It is. The air is different. The cost of living is so much more affordable. And it's crazy because in New York, you know, we always have that hustle mentality. Like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
All right. So prior to even coming to Atlanta, you know, I was doing case management in New York.
Oh, okay.
I have a degree in psychology, so that's been my background. Mm-hmm. You know, I really came to Atlanta to be a square. Like, I was tired of the hustling and working a 9 to 5 and then hustling after that and just always being tired. Like, I wanted to be home more with my kids. So it was like, okay, I'm going to move to Atlanta. I'm going to find a social work job, you know, and I'm going to be home at 5 o'clock and spending time with my kids.
Yeah.
That's not what happened, though.
So tell everyone your story. How did that happen?
So, all right. So I actually secured a job out here, you know, with the social service agency before I moved out here. Mm-hmm. Moved out here. Everything was good. You know, I had to come in, do my background test, do my drug test. But I also had a spot at a very popular club out here as a bartender because I bartended. So I kind of secured that, too, prior to even, like, fully coming out here. So once I came out here, I pretty much went to both places, did my background check, you know, started bartending in the clubs. And then with the job, I never heard back from them.
Wow.
So it was just like, I don't have a record, you know, nothing like, what's going on? And I didn't understand it, but it got to a point I'm making anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a week bartending, you know? So I was like, forget that job. Like, whatever, I'm going to do the club thing. And I probably did the club thing for like 3 years until I just woke up one day and I'm just like, yo, if I get sick or something happens to me, like, I'm not making no more money.
Yeah.
You know, you know how you just like in the same cycle every day, you waking up doing the same thing, and that's what it started to feel like with the club, and I just wanted more. You know, so the credit situation, that crept up on me because I didn't come out here. I knew my credit was okay, but I had filed bankruptcy straight after college. Wow. So you know how you in college, you getting credit cards, loans, and back then, you know, New York badass attitude. I'm not paying that back. What they gonna do? You know, like they ain't gonna do shit.
They can't find me.
Right, they can't find me. Girl, I couldn't get approved for anything.
Yeah.
And then when I got out here, even like, because I'm a type of person, I can't stay somewhere I'm not comfortable. So I moved out here so prematurely that I was bouncing around my first year. Like my first year, I probably moved like 3 times.
Wow.
You know, and when you get a lease, it's for a year.
Yes.
So I'm breaking leases left or right. Like, you know, I was in
Coming
DeKalb
out of
County.
pocket.
Yeah, certain counties I wasn't with the school system.
Yes.
You know, and like I said, I got to go. So when it finally came time, I was renting a house. Loved the house. The area was okay. And, you know, that's when it really started shifting to a seller's market out here, real estate-wise. Yes. So now everybody trying to sell their house, the market hot, and the owner of the house is like, you got to go. If you don't want to buy the house, I got to put the house on the market. And I was like, okay, you know, I got money. I'm making all this money. I'm good. I couldn't find nowhere to go.
Wow.
I had paid 2 different people to fix my credit. Didn't work out. And I want to say 2 weeks prior to my 90 days being up, I was like damn near homeless. Like I was like, damn, what I'm gonna do? You know, I have no family out here. Like I just up and left, grabbed my kids. It's time to go. We're gonna start over. I had a little stash. We're gonna figure it out. You know, and that's just my personality. Like I'm real ambitious. If I want to do something, nobody could talk me out of it. It's gonna get done. You know, and that was more so like, I gotta stop paying people to do what I could do. Like I'm gonna end up teaching myself. Like once I seen how important it was, like I could have 10, 20,000 in my pocket and I still can't get nowhere to live.
Right.
Because everybody want to do a credit check. Everybody sees the abandoned leases on my credit, you know, and that's what made me like, nah, I got to learn this industry because it's so important, you know, and then the real estate came after that and I'm pretty much here now. So that was the story. So it just be like, it's crazy how you could go to school, rack up all these student loans, and you're not even using it.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we need to be teaching the younger generation, because in school nobody told us about credit. I mean, thankfully my parents, you know, in the beginning they struggled, of course, but then, you know, they were able to save their money, build their credit. But for a long time they had bad credit also when, you know, I was a baby. And from those mistakes, when I got older, they were like, listen, credit is everything. Make sure you save your money. Make sure. So I feel like there's kids out there who don't have that guidance about credit and how important it is. They're like, you can have, like you said, $10,000, $20,000 in your pocket, but that don't mean nothing if you need a credit check.
Can't do anything. So, and that's funny you said that, because that's why pretty much now, so I went from the video vixen, the bartender, the modeling, you know, being in magazines and stuff like that, to pretty much what I'm doing now, you know? And I think the biggest challenge was really shifting my audience. Yeah. You know, like I got all these followers, people following me to see one thing. Now I'm not doing that no more. And I'm like, hey guys, you got to fix your credit. You got to buy a house. And they're like, why we got to listen to you? You know? So I think that was the biggest challenge. But when you are your own testimony and people really start to like see, you know, I have people DM me all the time, like, I've been following you for years, like your transformation is amazing, you know, and that's why I'm like, you know, you're right, they don't teach us this stuff in school. If they did, society would be structured so much different. That's how they keep us segregated. We will always live in a segregated world, whether it's by race, whether it's by education, you know, stuff like that, because we have to take it upon ourselves to teach each other. You know what I mean? Like my kids right now, and this is a credit hack for anybody with kids. If you have a kid and you have a credit card and you are not using, I'm going to say this. If you have a kid and you have credit cards and you have no lates, the card is in good standing, and you're not going above 25% of utilization, put your kids on that credit card. So by the time when they hit 18, they'll have a credit score and it'll be so much more easier for them to function into society. And that's what I'm doing with my kids now. I have a daughter who's 14 and I have a daughter who's 7. My 7-year-old is on my credit cards as an authorized user. She ain't getting no card. Cause that's a question somebody asked me on my page too. Like, my daughter don't do this, but I want her. You don't have to give them a card. Just let their social sit on that card. And you have to use credit. If you don't use credit, there's a certain percentage you're not going to get. So this is what I'm educating my kids on now. Like, oh no, when y'all get 18, y'all going to know what's going on, because y'all kind of know what's going on now, you know? So yeah, it's important. We have to educate ourselves and each other, because they're not going to do it for us. Society is shifting to an entrepreneurship type of world. You know what I'm saying? Like even now, to buy a house, you don't need tax returns.
Really?
You don't need tax returns. All you need is a business. If you form a business right now, today, you could walk to a lender tomorrow and get a pre-approval if you have all your income coming in one account and you use those bank statements to get an approval.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
People don't know that.
Yeah.
Everybody is scheduled to go to college, get a degree, you know, and I mean, that's cool and it's definitely necessary for certain careers. You know what I'm saying? So like, doctors, lawyers, stuff like that.
I need a degree.
Yeah, you need a degree for certain things. But even like I tell my kids now, I'm not forcing y'all to go to college, but you're definitely going to at least get a 2-year degree in business. That way, whatever you decide to do with your life, you're going to have some type of structure. You know, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you got to go to college for 4 to 10 years, study this, and then now you got all these student loans that is messing you up because you can't do a damn thing with bad student loans on your report. You know, so especially for the people that's not sure about what they want to do, get that business degree, because you're going to come out with that business degree with so much knowledge and so much education to where if you even want to start your own business, you have that background, you have that structure.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because my mom told me about that hack too. Because my mom was gonna add me to her credit card to boost my my credit score. So yeah, I think that's a good hack that I think people and parents should know. That doesn't matter how old your kid is, you know. It'll
I think they got to be
them.
at least 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so that's still a good
still
age.
Young.
That's still really young, and it gives them enough time, especially if you have good credit. By the time they're 18, they're well knowledgeable of how to, like you said, maneuver in life.
And I think we should do that, you know, for pretty much anybody in your immediate circle, like you know, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mother, your father. You know, but at the same time, on the flip side, you just got to make sure you're on somebody who's responsible. Because now if that person run up their credit card and max out or miss a payment, that's on your credit also. You know, and a lot of times, even me getting new clients, when I'm doing their onboarding and I'm doing like I'm giving them their analysis, they're on as authorized users to people who are 70% utilization, missed payments, late payments, and they don't know. Because you're trusting this person to help you get your score up there, but they're really messing themselves up, and they're messing them up. So if y'all are going to have people put you on as an authorized user, get access to their credit monitoring report.
Smart.
That way you can keep track. But even with that, once it hit, it's kind of too late. So I'm going to just be that friend that, hey, friend, you paid your minimum balance today, the minimum, even though we all know definitely don't pay the minimum. You want to use pay. Use pay is called leveraging credit, but that's a different gem.
Use pay.
Yes. And that's how you get that 15% history. So I'm going to teach y'all something else real quick. How much time we got?
There's nothing after us. We could be here as long as you want.
Okay, so another thing. So how you guys build your credit, right? We all use cash and debit cards for everyday life, for every month bills. You do not get a pat on your back for using cash or a debit card. What you want to do is you want to use your credit card as long as you're not exceeding 25% of your limit. So I don't care if it's a bottle of water, swipe for it. That $50 you got in the pocket and y'all was about to go smoke a hookah or get a haircut, swipe for it. What's going to happen is when you swipe, it takes 2 days for that to post. Once that posts, a week from then, you paid off. The good thing about credit, it comes back as an available balance. So if I swipe today, $50, 2 days is going to post. A week from that post date, I'm paying it off. That $50 is now back. Guess what? That's my gas card. I have a $300 credit card. Don't want to go over $70. That's my gas card. I swipe for my gas. In a week, I pay it off. I get it again. What happens in a week? I need to fill up again anyway within a week or so, right? Keep using that same card. That $300 credit card is now a $4,000 credit card because I'm using it, paying it off, using it, paying off. That's how I'm avoiding the APR. If you go into your next statement with no balance, they cannot charge you an APR. So do not be scared to not use your credit card because you have high APR. One of my cards is 24.999999, and I don't never pay on it because I know when my statement date ends, and I make sure that my cards are zeroed out. So that's some free game for y'all. And that you would generate 15% history, and then you would generate that percentage that's for active, positive, evolving accounts. That's part of your score. Derogatory accounts is only 35%, and a lot of people, that's all they be focused on, the derogatory accounts. You got to understand the whole structuring of credit, and that's what I teach my clients.
And that's good because I interviewed a financial advisor a couple weeks, and she said the same thing. She was like, the more you use your credit card, especially if you're not using it, you know, a lot, but you're using it in the right way, you know, you can get money back for some of those things.
And so as in society, we have a mentality of spending, and people get scared of credit. You can only be scared of credit if you're spending more than you could afford to pay back.
Right. People are living outside their means.
Exactly. So if you don't have the money in your pocket, or even if you work a 9 to 5 and you know you get paid Friday, Monday, swipe that card for $200. Just make sure Friday when you get that money, you're paying it off, you know? And that's just even the small bills. Like women, we got our waxes, our lashes, our eyebrows, our nails. We do it all on a week-to-week basis and on a month-to-month basis. If you're, you know, cell phone bills, power bills, gas bills, whatever, use your credit card. Just do not spend over 35% utilization.
Okay, so what if someone had a max of $1,000?
Sorry. $1,000, don't spend more than $250.
Okay, a week?
No, period.
Okay.
So when you have a credit card, that whole amount is not your money. So you just want to make sure you keep it 25% of whatever the limit is. So $1,250. Once you get let's say today your phone bill is $200. Swipe your phone bill. And a week paid off. It's not going to affect your score because you didn't go over that $250.
Got it.
You see? And then once you paid off, guess what? That $200 is right back. Sometimes I use that as a way to get an advance. I give myself advances, stuff like that. So people just got to know how to leverage credit. Once you know how to leverage it and really like be disciplined in your spending and know what you're spending and how much.
Free game.
It's free game, y'all.
Free game. Now, that's good. That's good. Now, you had mentioned earlier that you were, the video vixen, bartending, things like that. What was that transition like from you from going from video vixen and then now to reality television? What's the difference, and what are like the pros and cons you would say in your opinion?
So, that was a good question. That was like 3 questions in one.
I know.
All right. So now more so, I think the biggest transition would be my mind. Like I get to show different sides that people didn't know about me, because as a video vixen, as a bartender, is one focus. That's your body. Eventually you build, like I've generated some real good, relationships, out the club, that honestly, that's how I got started in real estate. Somebody came to my bar, watched me work for a little while, and was like, yo, you ever thought about doing real estate? I'm from New York. Real estate, we don't think about real estate out there. Like you got to be a part of that crowd in New York to be like, I want to do real estate. Because that's just not, so it was like, I mean, I know real estate mean houses, but what would I be doing, And I seen that same lady not too long again, and she's like, yo, she was a broker. I want you to get your license. Get your license, come work for me. And it was like, I never seen her again, but that was the message that was given to me, like real estate, and pretty much, went to school. And I just wanted more than the clubs. After a while, you get burnt out, like every night, the hours, you're sleeping during the day. So I'm still running businesses and stuff like that, So it was like, I got to be up during the night and the day. It was just a lot. But I say that was the biggest thing. Whereas being a video vixen and stuff like that, I got to post, my body to get people to come to the club, and stuff like that. And now it's more so I got to educate people. People are going to listen to what I have to say more so what I look like, even though I look good too. But,
I know that's right.
It's like, yo, she's teaching me something. So, listen, the world is ours, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? We all get the same 24 hours a day. Not saying anything is wrong with that lifestyle, because I lived that lifestyle. Really started in 2014, and I just gave it up. I'm gonna say 2018.
Okay, so pretty recent.
Yeah, it was recent. But like I said, it's all about preference and what you want. I just didn't want to live like that no more. Like I wanted to settle down, have a family and stuff like that. And even with that, that was hindering it, because it's like, a real man, and I'm not taking shots against men girls in the club and stuff like that. I'm just speaking on my story. I get more respect now being out the club, because, we're classified. Yeah. We're categorized. So regardless and I'll say it all the time, I'm not a stripper. Like, I'm a whole bartender, but it don't matter. You still in the club. You still look like them. You know what I'm saying? So I still had to deal with the stereotypical BS, that comes with that. But like I say, I just personally want an elevation. I have 2 daughters. They're looking at me like, eventually they get older, they start paying attention. My oldest daughter, she told me one day, I don't got to go to school. I'm going to be a bartender. I said, what? I said, oh, hell no. Because she seen how much money I was bringing home, and she knew how we were living was just off of that. And it was just like, I'm giving them the wrong message. I got to change my life. But like I said, it took me almost being homeless to want to change my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I probably still would have been in the clubs. I don't know. I didn't choose this path. It chose me. Yeah. No,
I agree with you, because I used to bartend also when I was in grad school. So I used to live on my own. I used to live in the Bronx, and I used to bartend because it was easy for me. It's fast money. I can pay my bills. I can go to school full time. And it was cool and it was good because you make your own schedule and there's no limit to how much money you can make. So if I'm making $1,000 in one night, I'm making 500, 300, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, like I had a lot of friends who were also in the same industry and it really sucks you in because you see how much money you can make in one day. And I think that's what it is. Some women get stuck because of how much money. They're like, oh, but I won't be making this money elsewhere. But, just they don't realize you can.
Because they're not thinking. They're thinking short term. They're not thinking. Because listen, I did OnlyFans too, and that's no secret. But people can't judge your walk when they don't know what you have going on. So prior to me, being in my situation now, I've been a single parent for 13 years.
Wow.
So my mentality has always been by any means necessary.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I might not have liked what I was doing, but I knew one day, listen, I'm going to have my own businesses and I'm going to be that person. I didn't know what business. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but it was more so every dollar I get is going to go into me making another dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just started getting into the shoes, the bags, and all of that. But that's because I somewhat can now because I'm a little comfortable.
Yeah.
But even with that, it's like, okay, this money I spent, I remember the first time I spent like $2,000 on a bag. And I was like, damn, you know what I could have did with that?
I know, right?
That $2,000 could have made me like $5, you know?
Right, yeah.
And that's just always been my mentality because of my past, because of me being in a group home, as a teen and really just having to really grind my way out the gutter, literally. Like, I went in that group home with the clothes on my back, so I had to really build myself up as a woman, as a person, as a business owner. And I went through so many different phases of my life. I was like getting pulled in this direction, getting pulled in this direction, getting pulled in this direction. But yeah, because the money comes so fast and you're not thinking about, let me save this for a rainy day or let me invest. We're just thinking, I'm gonna make another 1,000 tomorrow, so the 1,000 I spent today is not even gonna matter until you're 5 years in and you're looking around like, damn, I don't got nothing to show for this.
Right.
I don't have no businesses. If I get sick today, I don't even have no savings to pay the bills for the rest of the year.
But they got a Chanel bag.
They got the Chanel bag with no money in the Chanel bag. You know what I'm saying? So my mentality is just a little different. I feel like I need to be owning buildings. I need to, if God forbid, if something happens to me today, my daughters is not going to have to get it out the mud how I had to get it out the mud. Like, they're going to be straight. So, like I said, it just depends on who you are as a person and what you want out of life. Because you have some people, they don't want nothing out of life. This is good enough for them. So, if this is good enough for you, by all means, you live in the life. And that's how I used to think. So, that was just my personal experience. I'm just like, I need more. Because even like in the summertime, the clubs are slow.
Yeah.
Certain
people don't know that.
Yeah, certain nights when you're not making money, what are you really doing to pay your bills? People don't look in the back end of what it really takes to live that lifestyle, to come to work every day, whether you tired or not, break at night, hair, makeup done, buying these outfits, being disrespected on a constant basis by men, like they don't
go home and be a mom.
To go home and be a mom. So that transition and that drive is just.
Or to take your kids to school in the morning and you just got in at 5, 6 in the morning.
Hello.
It's crazy.
Sometimes there was no sleep, and that's what I went through doing real estate. Because when I started studying to get my real estate test, I was still in the clubs. So I'm bartending from 10 at night to 3, 4 in the morning and have to be in class at 9 o'clock. When the hell did I have time to study? And real estate is crazy, and it really took me failing 3 times I had to jump out on faith. I went hard for like 2 months in the club, and I was like, you know what? I got to quit the club to be able to focus. Like, I can't, like, I'm still coming home with the trap music in my head, bumping, like, ready to party, and I really had to dumb all of that down for a vision that only I could see, and that's what made me get on OnlyFans. So even with that, it was like, I did that so I could stay my ass home and study. Let me make a quick 2, 3 videos. It'll probably take an hour, but I still got 23 hours to do what I wanted to do, what I needed to do.
And still generate that income.
And still triple the income of what I was making in the club. I made almost $200,000 on OnlyFans.
Wow.
And that got me to here.
Yep.
And this was 2017, 2018 before it was what it was now. So back then, I was really getting called a hoe, an internet hoe, and all that crazy shit. And it used to bother me, but I'll go home every day and look at my daughters like, this is what I'm doing it for. So I don't care, you know what I'm saying, what people have to say, because guess what? In 2020, when everybody ran to it because everybody lost their job, I was making 6 figures legally without having to show my body. And that's
where real estate went up and people didn't realize.
Yeah, listen, yeah.
especially out here, because my mother does real estate too, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's a pandemic, but I was like, real estate is booming right now. Like, whoever's in this industry right now is definitely making money.
Yeah, because the rates were so low, so it was a lot of buyers, you know, just snatching up them pre-approvals, and that's why the market is the way it is now, to where it's 10, 20 people bidding on a house, because it was like, it was good for the buyers because they were able to get that pre-approval, but it wasn't really so good for the sellers, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna sell my home, but now what? I'm gonna be in these bidding wars, you know, I'm probably not gonna find a place. And then, like you said, it went up. Real estate went up about 15-20%. You know what I mean? So it was like, now we're in a market to where there's so many buyers and there's not enough inventory. But yeah, definitely, like I said, that's actually when I really started getting on the real estate with the whole COVID thing. Because I had got my license prior, you know, a year before. But even with the real estate, people think you just go to school, pass the test, and boom, you're a real estate agent. Like, the test don't even help you prepare for, like, what's really going on. You got to find a broker. And that was one of my struggles. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of my past, I am social media, you know, and not a lot of brokerages show you how to use social media. You know, I'm not knocking on nobody's door. I'm from the hood. Like, I was in the streets. I'm not.
And they shoot out here. You can't knock on nobody's door
I'm not doing the door knocking. I'm not doing none of that. But, you know, that's another thing. Once you get your license, it's like, you got to find a good broker who's going to really mold you and teach you the game. You know, and then you got to have a team. You got to have lenders. You got to have all these things that I did not have my first year, because remember, this is not my city. Yeah. So when I was, you know, interacting with people who wanted to buy a house, oh, I want to move to so-and-so county, huh?
I'm still learning.
Like, wait, where's that at? Okay, wait, hold on. Let me
get my GPS.
Let me get my Google real quick, you know? So it was a lot that I didn't know nothing about Atlanta. Like, I just came out here. You know, so, but now, you know, I have everything in place. I actually follow a real powerful Black, you know, successful real estate agent, and, you know, she teach classes and stuff like that. So I'm in one of her classes, and, you know, it's helped me with the structuring and getting more together. You know, now I have more clients. I have four under contract with new construction, and then I have 4 that I'm actively shopping for right now. So it's been good, you know, and that's the thing. You can't be afraid you can't feel like you know everything. You know, like, I'm one of them people, I'm going to pay for information because I don't know everything. Like, I'm good in the lane that I'm good in. Yeah. But a lot of times, especially with real estate and credit, a lot of things going on around me coincide with each other. You know, so I'm always thirsty for knowledge. I want to educate myself. And I think that plays a part, too, in how successful, you know, a person can become, because you got to work for it. It's not going to be given to you.
And then since appearing on Black Ink Crew, did you see a rise in clients?
I've seen a rise with interactions.
Okay. It's probably coming.
Yeah, so it just go both ways. You got some people now that they're just catching on, like, oh, that was you, you know, and stuff like that. But I mean, I can't really tell, because, like I said, I've used my social media for years to generate my income. Like, that's how I've been surviving. So, you know, whether it's the marketing, it's just so many different things I got going on right now. I can't really say, oh, it's because of the show. You know, it's definitely giving me more visibility. Like, I had people say, like, oh, I seen you show Kwani a house.
Yeah,
we want a house similar to that, you know.
That house was beautiful.
Girl, it was.
That was beautiful.
It was real nice. So, yeah, and then even with them, like, a lot of cast members is coming to Atlanta. That's what I'm saying. It's like, once you leave that environment and you get a taste of this open space, the air.
The air is different. I can attest to it.
Different, yeah.
So now, you are on season 9 of Black Ink Crew as Ceasar's girlfriend. So I have to ask, how has that been? I mean, how did you guys meet? And were you a little apprehensive of showing that side to Black Ink Crew? Because, I mean, Black Ink has been on air since 2013. And we've seen Cease, and he's had his fair share of women and relationships that, you know, were publicized. Were you at all concerned about shining a light on that?
You want to know what's so crazy? I met Cease in 2014. So,
oh, wow.
I had... in New York.
In New York, I was going to say? Okay.
In New York. This is before I left. I left in 2016. So In New York, this is actually when I first entered the industry as an urban model. And, you know, I was doing the magazines and the hostings and stuff. So I had actually got casted to be an extra at Oh Shit's Coming Home Party.
Okay.
This was back then. So after that, we never saw each other again, never spoke. It was a job, you know. I moved to Atlanta 2016. He brings Black Ink Atlanta 2017. I get called to do another scene.
Wow, okay.
So I'm like, oh,
it
okay.
was fate.
Yeah, like, together. It was like, okay, okay, hi, Cease, what's up? He like, hey, you know, and, you know, we exchanged numbers and we kept in contact. Like, we've always been cool. He was like, you know, the big bro. Like, I done went out with him and his girlfriends at the time. Like, I done seen the women come and go. We just had, like, we was just cool. It wasn't really until I started changing my life that he shot his shot, because he knew everything I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say that's the only bad thing about, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but that's the only thing with dating your friend, because they know the type of shit you was on, and they know how you were. So it was like, I know you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, January 2020, like I said, I started getting my life together. I got off of OnlyFans. You know, got more business oriented, cleaned up my page as far as the half naked pictures. The OnlyFans link in the bio came out, you know, and it was just me jumping out like a leap of faith. I had fasted for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And that was actually one of the things that I had fasted for, where I just was like, I didn't want to do this lifestyle no more. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, but just please create that way.
Yeah.
I'll give up this, I'll give up that. And it was actually somebody at my brokerage who put me on to getting a deliverance. So it's something like a baptism, but it's not that extreme yet. You know, you go and you just pretty much just get cleared of all the negative energy, past trauma. Because I had a crazy life. And, you know, and I was so angry and bitter inside, you know. And I had to take care of that first. Yeah. You know, and that's a lot of things. Like, that's the thing with us women. You know, a lot of us, we jump from relationship to relationship. We don't take time to really focus on ourselves, on self-love, on structuring our lives. Because, we want to attract, you know, these type of men, but we have to be what we want to attract. Right. You know, and that was really one of the lessons that our relationship taught us, because we've had, you know, situations like, oh, let's go out, and neither one of us call each other. Like, yo, let's go on a date, but it just never worked out. Yeah. And now I realized that I wouldn't have been no good to him back then. You know, the type of woman I was back then, I wouldn't have been no good to him. So I definitely get why it happened now. Yeah. You know, and that's pretty much what it was. You know, just work, if that's what you want to call it. Kind of brought us together, and he shot a shot. He shot a shot, girl. You know how that go. Well,
he made it. He made it. So shout out to you, Cease.
Yeah. I had posted a meme, and I was like, and I never looked, like, he didn't give me them type of vibes, you know what I mean? So it was like, even when he said something, it was like, get out of here. But
boy, stop playing.
Yeah, like, I had posted a meme. I was like, dark-skinned men with nice teeth is my weakness. So he was like, so why you never gave me a shot then? And I was like, ooh, boy, bye. I was like, you ain't never shoot your shot. Like, you know, I don't know. I'm shooting it now. I was like,
you know he get angry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm shooting it now.
I'm shooting it now. I was like, okay. He like, come to Chicago right now, because he was in Chicago doing something. So I was like, okay. And even then, like, and I think that night is what set the tone for what we are today, because he could have been another smash and pass, and the same here. Like, you know, I got out there and we cuddled that night. Like, we slept in the same bed. You know how it is when you dating, and it's like, men just be trying them. So, like, you wake up, you'll feel the penis in your butt. Like, damn, chill, you know? But he was real respectful. Like, I didn't, like, I was like, oh, and that turns me on. Like, a man that's not thirsty or pressed, you know? And I was like, oh, okay.
Serious.
Yeah, like, all right, okay. Oh, and we have fun together.
Because you guys were friends first.
Yeah, we have so much fun together. We learn from each other. Like, one of our first dates, he was teaching me about the stocks and stuff. Oh, you know, so I've never really experienced that with a man. So we're on a date and you're teaching me something. Like, okay, I'm all ears. What that word mean? What I gotta do? Like, how it work? You know, and he gets excited. He be like, baby, okay, so this is what, you know, and that's just the type of relationship we have. So that's pretty much, we're both assholes. I can put if you've seen the last episode, you know why I call him my favorite asshole. Because he's such a damn prankster. But I mean, he's a dope person. He's a dope person. I'm happy.
Now, was it at all hard? Because you said in like January 2020 is when you guys kind of started talking. What was that like dating during a pandemic? I mean, you lived in a city that was open. Because, you know, we're out here in Atlanta. But he was in New York. New York was like completely shut down.
Oh, no, I told him, bring that ass to Atlanta. I said, we're not even about to do this long distance shit. If you want me, you got to come down here, and that's just what it is. And he was like, okay, baby, and came.
And he brought his whole shop and whole show to Atlanta, too. So he was definitely serious.
I mean, he always had a shop out here. It just...
the New York show he brought out here.
Yeah. Yeah, because they got to, you know, he live in Atlanta now.
So he's officially a Georgia Peach now?
Yeah, we bought a house in October.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, but we so I had a condo out here. So we stayed together, and then we ended up getting a town. We was renting a townhouse for a couple of months just to see if we could tolerate each other. Like, okay, let me see what it's like, you know, waking up to you and going to sleep to you. But it was cool.
That's the real test. I always tell people, if you really like someone, move in with them. I mean, obviously not right away, but I mean...
Oh, no, we did it right away. 2 months in, we was living together.
Okay, but at least it worked out.
But that's because we was friends first.
Exactly. Because there's some people who like are madly in love, and then I'm like, just wait, move in with them, and then you tell me if you're still in love, and then they're like, yo, I don't think we like each other.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's part of the kinks you got to get to know right away. I don't want to be with a man for 8 months, and then we move in together, and then, it's just like, ew, like, no, I need to know what I'm dealing with. So show me your angry side, your mad side, your depressed side, your sexual side. I want to see everything. And it's a lot to deal with me. You know, like, he know where I come from. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just like I know where he come from. He ain't no saint. You know, but I will say this. When you want someone, and it's male or female, when a man wants a woman, he's going to act right. Right. Same thing with us. Like, I was single for 6 years.
Wow.
So I had to adjust to, and that's because in them 6 years I had to take the time to get me together. Yeah. So I was like, I never had nobody feeling like they was the one. I was just out here living, building, and chilling. You know, so that was the biggest thing for me. Like, yo, you in a whole relationship right now. You can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you used to doing this, that has to stop. You know, but that's the biggest thing. Like, every time I get mad, be like, man, fuck this, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing that we're gonna argue, we're gonna have disagreements. You know? It's about just getting through it. Because in the beginning, it was just like, I'm out of here. Like, because that's what I was so used to. Like, I couldn't keep anybody for longer than 3-4 months. Like, I just always had them in rotation. Like, all right, I'm bored, and I'm a Scorpio. I get bored fast. I like to be entertained. I like to laugh. You know, with my mentality, I need somebody that's going to educate me and stimulate me. You know, I need the whole package. And he had that. So it was just like, all right, well, I've been outside long enough to know. You
now
know what
you're
I mean?
outside together.
Right, now we're outside together. And honestly, like, I love it. You know, the pandemic, it brought us together. I don't think we would have got together if the pandemic didn't happen, honestly. Because the pandemic, like, we traveled to 4 different countries. I was showing him the credit game, how you can travel for free, you know, and do all type of stuff. And we were just having fun, learning, and living. And because it was a pandemic, he didn't have to film. You know, none of his shops was really open like that besides the Atlanta one. He did open, like, I think 1 or 2 other shops, you know, during the pandemic. But it was, like, really time for us. Like, every day we was doing something, learning about something, traveling. Yeah. You know, so it helped us.
That's
and
good.
Now we were able to come out of 2020 into 2021 swinging. And now 2022, now that everything is open. Yeah, that's my baby, though.
That's good, because I feel like, so before this, I was working for CBS News. Okay. CBS 46 in Atlanta. Okay. And, like, we literally did a story on how the divorce rates went up during the pandemic. Wow. And how a lot of people were getting divorces because, I guess, you know, when you get into the routine of working, and maybe if you have children and stuff, you know, you're not forced to face the issues that you have because you have that routine. House, right. But when the pandemic hit and everyone had to quarantine, they're like, whoa, hold on. I don't really think I like you. I don't really think I could stand you. Now all of a sudden, you know, why is your toothbrush like this? Right. You got a dish in the sink. Now people are aggy about everything. And so people were really, like, they were saying like make it or break it during this pandemic, because people were starting to realize like, wow, I really can't spend all this time with you. Like you're annoying, you know, like type of thing. So it's good to see that you guys are a good example of like a relationship really flourishing during a pandemic, and how it's, you know, healthy, and you guys are doing really well, and how you guys are helping each other level up, because you can definitely see that on the show, and then also just talking to you. You guys really look like a couple that are definitely like securing the bag.
Right, definitely. Got to secure the bag, baby.
So now what's next for you guys? Do you eventually want to have more children?
Ooh, girl.
Get married?
Children. I do, but I don't. Reason being, you know, when we have the children, it's mainly the women that have to kind of slow. You know, he's still gonna travel. Yes. He's still gonna open his shops. I'm gonna be home with that baby. So it's like I feel like I'm gonna have to sacrifice my career and what I have going on. And I'm not at a point in my life right now where I can say that I want to do that. Only because, like I said, my youngest is 7. Yeah. So we're really just now she's at the age now where she's more, you know, self-sufficient and stuff like that. So it's like to think like, yo, to go outside, I need a babysitter, or I got to bring this baby with me. And then the weight gain, the moods. Like
and losing the weight.
Girl, eventually I do though. I do want a son, and that's because I have 2 girls. So I do, you know, I want a little big head son, like you know what I'm saying. But I just feel like right now we're both in our prime. So not right now.
I know Cease is planning on opening more stores internationally. Do you know where?
I know Jamaica.
Yeah.
So we went out there. You know, he's always out there, but I actually went out there. We went out there for my birthday, and that was my first time out there. And I was like, babe, you need to shop out here. He gets so much love out there. Like, really? Because he's Jamaican. So, you know, they love him out there. But, yeah, I definitely know that's that. We want to start building our mansion. We trying to figure out where we want to be at. We don't know if we want to stay in Atlanta.
Come to the suburbs.
Yeah.
Not too far.
Yeah,
but like right on the tip where you're not in Atlanta, but you're like 20 minutes away.
Right. I mean, that's kind of our situation now, and we still, it's just like, I don't know. You know, we're focused on business and family and stuff like that now. So, I don't know. We definitely plan on retiring out the country though. Like,
really?
Girl, when you start going to these different countries and you see how they live compared to Americans, like, we think we lit out here. We really not.
They say I saw a meme. Oh my God, what was it? It was like, America is so ghetto. Like, these other countries are definitely laughing at us. Like
all the time, girl, all the time. But yeah, so we're working on getting some land. I think it's important that we start building, especially because COVID being such an eye opener. Like, couldn't open his shops, you know, couldn't really tattoo. It was like, okay, we need different, you know, different streams of income, different type of hustles and stuff like that. So that's pretty much really what we're putting together now. I know he got some things going on. We both do. We can't really say too much. It's gonna play out on next season.
Okay. Have you guys started filming next season already?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. And then I guess it'll air next year.
I think it's the end of this year.
Even better. Okay.
Yeah,
so now that you've gotten a taste of reality television, do you see yourself doing another reality show?
So I did have another show actually reach out to me. But I don't think it'll be reality TV per se. It would be more so something where I can control the narrative depending on what I'm doing. You know, because that's the thing with reality TV. You don't have no control on how they portray you. Yep. You know, so I think even with this situation, like, I don't want to be a reality star. Like, that's not, like, my focus, of course, is always going to be my business. So it's good for that. And of course, you know, with that being my boyfriend, like I said, I'm going to support whatever he got going on, excuse me. But girl, I like being behind the scenes. Like, that's just my personality. I don't want to, money is behind the scenes.
It is.
That's where the real money is.
It is. It's funny because I interviewed Lil Mo a couple weeks ago, and I asked her the same thing because she was on Love and Hip Hop. She was on a few shows. And I was like, would you go back? And she was like, only way is if I can control the narrative. Like, I would have to be an executive producer of a show that I'm on, because there's no way they're going to have me out here looking crazy.
Right. And not saying Black Ink has me looking crazy, because I think reality TV is just more so a microscope on what you really have going on. So I know, you know, a lot of people concerns in the beginning was, once your relationship comes on TV, it doesn't last. And I just feel like It's just more so, it depends on how you going about doing it. Like, if you're one of them couples that's going to do whatever for ratings, there's no boundaries, and it's like, you got to kind of figure out, okay, is this real, or is she just, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more so that, but if y'all go into the situation together with a certain understanding, like, listen, this is what we're not going to do, and this is what's going to happen. And if you have a positive relationship off the show, like in real life, where y'all actually are happy and enjoy each other, and y'all not together for the show or because of the show, then it's going to be a different outcome. You know, like filming, it wasn't a thought like, oh my God, this is going to break up my relationship. You know, so like I said, it just really depends. But nah, like the producers, like everybody's cool, you know, so I'm glad that I'm not being portrayed crazy. You know, I probably done said or did a couple of things that I was like, okay, but people got to realize we're human. You know, and things happen. So how people deal with losses behind closed doors, we're dealing with losses in front of everybody. Cameras, you know, so you probably just did the same thing I did, but you shutting down on me because it's in the public eye. But I mean, outside of that, girl, I don't be caring what people think. Like,
I will say, in one of the episodes where Cease had mentioned he wanted to take some time apart, you know, to kind of get his mind right on a few things, I was like, yo, she's gonna deck him. Like, she's just gonna deck him right there, because your face, and you was looking at him like,
I'm an abuser because of that. Like, people,
and I was loving it because you had like, are
that's
you dumb?
That's that New
face.
York shit.
Like, are you dumb?
Don't play with me.
And
like,
you
what?
just looked at him like, and I was like, yo, she's going for the pan. She's gonna deck him, like, and it was funny because you just gave him his time, so you was like, okay.
Oh no, see what happened was he knew it was about to be a hot girl summer, so as soon as the weather hit, you know, he was trying to come back. But I mean, listen, I understood his position. You know, like, I never wanted him to feel no type of way, but shit.
Are you dumb?
I ain't go through all this shit for nothing. Like, don't play with me. And I think that's scary too in the relationship world. Is like, when is riding too much, or because it's like you could ride for a person till the wheels fall off and they can still leave your ass.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then is the boundary of relationship and marriage. So you can't give them too much, because then you don't want them to feel like, oh, I ain't gotta marry her because I'm getting everything. You know, whatever prior to the marriage. So marry her for what? You know what I mean? And I think that's what we struggle in our culture. We're shacked up for 10 years. You know, not saying I'm not taking shots at nobody, because this internet shit is wicked.
Yo, for real.
Yo, they will twist your word. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just like, I had a single mom and I watched her be a single mom my whole life. So it's just different.
What would you say is like that gray area? Like, what would you say for women out there who maybe are struggling with, like, am I doing too much? What is too much? Am I not doing enough? Because, you know, there's some women out there who will be acting like they are a wife, and not because of anything, but because that's just their nature. They just like to be like that.
That's how we're raised. We're raised to be, you know, we're naturally, you know, nurturing, right? Honestly, you just have to know your partner. You know if you're wasting your time. If you gotta, if you know, if the bad outweigh the good, if you gotta constantly do X, Y, and Z. I just feel like you have to treat it as a per situation basis, because that's really not something you can give. That's not advice you could give somebody, because we could be two different women dealing with the same type of man, and he proposed to her and she never gets proposed to. Then you got some couples that marriage is just not what they want to do right now. You know, and some people look at marriage as a piece of paper, and then some people look at marriage as, oh no, I gotta protect my assets. You know what I'm saying? And it's more so like a business arrangement, which in all actuality, the nitty gritty, the behind the scenes of it is, because if you want to go through a divorce, what's gonna happen? So a lot of people avoid marriage because they're avoiding that. They're not avoiding commitment or actually being married. They're avoiding that. We're in a generation where side hoes and all type of stuff is glorified. So if I, you know, enter this marriage and this person fuck up, I could lose everything. So like I said, it just depends on your views and how. If you're comfortable living your life like that, by all means. If he loving on you right and y'all cool, and y'all decide, you know, we ain't stressing it. It is what it is. Buying a house is like marriage, because it's an investment. When you buy a house you don't have to be married. That's what people be like, oh, I'm not buying a house with my partner Because if it don't work out, guess what? If it don't work out and y'all can't figure that shit out, y'all got to sell the house.
Split it down the middle.
Split it down the middle. You get 50, they get 50. This is why even with that, you have operational agreements. See, y'all don't know about that. Y'all got to take my business class because I teach y'all all of this. Operational agreement. Listen, okay, it's over. You better take the downstairs and not stay my ass upstairs or we got to sell the house. So it's just as much as your property if your name is on that deed as it is his, just because we're not together. So a lot of people, I'll get property with my spouse before I hop to a marriage. Because when you hop to a marriage, you're inheriting all their issues. Child support, student loan debt, all that shit. When you married, that is now your problem.
Yes.
You know, so do I want to marry you? I love you, but I want to protect my assets. And it's the same with men. Do I want to marry her? How do I know she's not going to take me for everything I have or try to? And that's what I think 80% of men are scared of. The percentages that do want to marry, but it's just like, I ain't doing it. Look at the generation we live in.
Right. And I think also that's something that women don't even sometimes even ask. It's like, you want to marry this man, but you don't know he got a 320 credit score. He got...
Talk about it, girl.
He got $50,000 in student loan
debt. They going to come from your ass.
He got $5,000 in credit cards.
Girl.
You know, and it's like, honey, that man not even worth marrying at this point. Because, I mean, listen, to each their own. To each their own. Whatever they want to do. If you're going to stick beside him, you're going to stick beside him. I'm going to stick beside him. I mean, that's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. But, like, you know, at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself, too. Because if you worked hard to save and to invest, IRS is coming for you. Because now you guys are married.
Yeah. As an entrepreneur, your business is not promised. So, you know, you always want to make sure that the income you are getting. Yeah, you, of course, especially, like, in my type of field and your type of field, you got to look a certain type of way, you know. So, but that's what you call an investment. So people are scared to invest in themselves, whether it's appearance, whether it's education. Like, I'm always taking classes to sharpen what I know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind paying for the knowledge. That's an investment.
Good. That's what you have to do.
And that's what people don't do. And that's why, you remain stagnated. You got to want that push. You got to invest in yourself. You got to change your circle. If the people you are hanging around is not matching your goals and what you're trying to accomplish, that will hinder you. Because that was my issue, too. You know, I got people in my circle coaching me to do the fuck shit, but not coaching me to do the right stuff. Right. You know? And then it was like, once I really understood from that situation, like, yo, me and my kids, we about to be in the street? Hell nah. You know? And that is what... And sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you got to go through something drastic to really, like, wake up and get it together. So the biggest eye-opener was when I had my second daughter. She's 8 now. She was just learning how to walk. And my project apartment was so small that every time she finally got the right step, the wall was right there, like, boom. And I watched how it used to frustrate her. Like, she would get so mad. And that made me feel like shit as a mother. Like, damn, my baby don't even got no space to learn how to walk, you know? And that made me like, you know what? Fuck this $200, you know? Like, I just, if I'm going to be paying real rent, I just got to go harder, you know? But that was like, you know, as mothers, we want to do, especially when we had, a rough upbringing ourselves, we want to do what's best for our children. But like I said, you got to want it because you got some people that's just what their mentality is set on. They're comfortable, they're content, they're fine. I just always was like, no.
You want more?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this world, but...
It's not this.
It ain't this. It ain't stuffing in pussy elevators and wait, shit, they shooting. Girl, I gotta leave in 10 minutes, they shooting. I can't leave right now.
Right.
You know?
Everybody duck.
Yeah, that's living in the Bronx. I didn't want my kids growing up like that after a while. So listen, by any means, yes, I did a lot of things I wasn't proud of, but I don't care. Say what y'all want. I'm here. You know, like, I got myself to this point. I ain't fake no relationship to take a nigga for a bag. Like, I took 6 years of time to myself, getting to know God, getting to know me, getting to know my kids. Because I ain't gonna lie, when you out in the streets hustling and working and going to school and you miss the little simple stuff. Like, I remember one day my daughter was like, oh, mama, y'all like such and such. And I was like, damn, I didn't know that. And it made me realize, like, I was so focused on, I gotta make the money. Girl, my child care was $1,000 alone a month in New York. Sheesh. That's one of the main reasons why I left. I tried to get a voucher, got denied. You know, but all these motherfuckers that ain't doing shit got housing vouchers. So it just was like, nah, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck the projects, fuck the $200 rent, fuck the food stamps.
Right. It's funny too because when I moved out here, I'm not even gonna lie. When I moved out here, I remember my first week here, and it was quiet. Like when I went to bed, it was quiet, and I felt weird. Like, why I don't hear no sirens? Why I don't hear no ambulance?
Why no train?
You know, trains? Why nobody fighting outside my door? Right. Like, why is there not like just ruckus? And it wasn't after like 6 months. I will say the first 6 months I was like, nah, I'm going back to the Bronx. I'm going back to the Bronx.
I mean, I was trying to move back. I ain't even gonna hold you up. I was trying to move back. I think 2017. I was like, nah, I'm coming back.
No, the first year I moved here, and the first 6 months I told my mother out because my whole family moved out here first, and I was like, listen, I love y'all, but I'm going back to the Bronx. It's slow for this. I don't like living here. I don't know anything, nothing going on, right? And this is right before everybody and their mother started moving to Atlanta.
Right.
And so I just felt weird, but then after the 6 months, I appreciated because I was pregnant during the time. So I was ready to go back to the Bronx pregnant. Like
Somebody said no 5, 6, and 2 train.
Yes. And I used to live on the 6 line too. Me too. Literally on East Tremont.
Okay.
So I was like, nah, I'm going back. I don't like it. But then you get to appreciate the silence. You get to appreciate. My mother always told me, you don't, because I don't curse, so you don't ish where you sleep. Right. So, like, you know, if you're going to go out and go party, you don't want to lay your head down there either. Right. You want to be able to go out and party, and then, you know, if you got to drive 20, 15, 30 minutes, whatever, but you know it's peaceful, and this is your home, and you're not bringing that craziness. And so I share the same sentiment because I was the same way, like, now I'm out. And then I was like, you know what, no, I appreciate it. Like, y'all can come in, you can say, oh, it's boring, or because you live in the suburbs. I worked hard to live in these suburbs. Right. I worked hard to live in this house and to have peace and quiet.
I'll be in New York and want to run back to Atlanta. Like, I ran back this time. I was
girl,
like, oh my God,
I just came back, and no lie, I went there like, ooh, I don't got that in that. We don't do that in Atlanta. It's my air is different. I'll be like, y'all houses are so close together. Like, I got a big backyard.
Then they think you acting bougie. Yeah. I was like, bitch, this is where you from. Like,
and I be coming back like, ooh, clutching my pearls. Like, I don't know how y'all doing out here.
Your pearls out here too, though.
No, for real. For real. We're not going to glamorize Atlanta either, because it gets crazy out here.
I remember the first time somebody stole my bag out of my car out here. This was like,
no.
Yo, the car thieves are different.
No, out here they're no joke.
Listen, it happened in front of my daughter's
They steal your car while you in the car.
My daughter's daycare. You had somebody that was in the parking lot every morning at 6:30 waiting for the parents to go in the daycare.
To take the cars? Yo,
I was like, this is different. That's another thing, guys. If y'all have credit cards and stuff, make sure you set the alert to every time you use it, you get an alert. Because that's how I knew. He went to the gas station, and I got the alert that I just paid $50 in gas. I was like, what? I was like, hell no. And it brought me to that gas station, and they had the footage of the guy that came out of my car.
He was like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, it ain't all glamorous out here neither. But you know what?
No,
you're going to deal with the bullshit anyway.
It's true. It's true. Like, I thought New York was like the land of the scamming, but then I moved out here. I'm like, yo, they get it out here. They get it out here crazy with the scamming. Like, and it's so funny because, like I said, I was working for the news. So, you know, we're going to breaking news all the time. And I'm like, they'll really steal your car with you in it.
So if you know for a fact that you can't get to a certain level in your hometown, and it's time to go, you have to ask yourself, what talent do I have where it's going to make me money? You know, because I think COVID done proved that you could be with an employer for 10 years and be the best employer ever, and you can be without a job at any given time. You know, so I think just really having that plan, that's what I lacked. You know, I saved like $15,000 and I just came out here. I'm going to figure it out. But that's because of the type of person I am. You know, I knew like I was going to figure it out. But you just got to have a plan, know what you want, know what you want to do. Definitely research the areas and stuff like that prior to moving. Don't be like me, moving 3 times in a year. Because I think everybody know like different states and what they're good for. So if you fit in that geographic, I guess you can say, make them. Listen, scared money don't make no money, and sometimes that leap of faith, that's what's stopping you from getting to the next level. Being scared, you can't have faith and you can't be scared at the same time. So sometimes, even if it's a vision, because everybody was calling me crazy, girl, you gonna leave your job with your benefits? You dumb? Okay?
Look at you now.
I'll be that. You know, but like I said, it gotta come from here.
And I think also what's good about your story is that you're literally a living testament of how you really left with no one. Like, nothing. Literally, you came out here with your kids and that was that. And I think that that's what's holding a lot of people back, too, because a lot of my friends are like, oh, I want to move to Atlanta. I'm like, you're not ready. And they're like, no, I want to move. But their biggest thing is they don't have anybody out there. Like, they don't have a support system out there. And I get it, because I probably would have never moved if my family didn't move.
CityCity.com, I found some of the most amazing nannies. To this day, like, I have a nanny. As a single mom, it's imperative that we have our nannies on that site allows you to back check these people. You get to read. I had somebody send me an application, and the site told me, no, this person just got a bad review or something happened.
Oh,
so,
wow.
like, it's that type of website. You can back check. Like, that's how I made it out here. Like, I've always had a nanny. And then, you know, my mom, she helps out. She takes them every summer. So, you know, out here they go to school's over in May. So my mom takes them from May to August. I get, you know, allow me the summer to myself and stuff like that. So I have a support system now, which is amazing. Good. But you gotta be your own support system. Like, sometimes you just gotta say, fuck everybody. I know this is what I want. I envision this. I'm gonna work for this, and I'm gonna get this, because you are your own procrastinator. And nobody stop what's meant for you but you. And that's my advice.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Tell everyone where they can find you, what businesses you have, and just put people on game right now.
All right, guys. So I am Suzette the Realtor, as you guys already know. My page is Suzette_the Realtor. I teach financial literacy classes, how to leverage credit, how to be a credit repair specialist. I fix credit. I do real estate. I do it all. You know, I have an ebook that'll help you if you have no credit and need to build, or even if you can't get past like that 620, that 650 and you're stuck, hit me up. I got you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It has been amazing. Love your personality. I mean,
Thank
you know how it is when
New York link up. You know. New Yorkers, especially Bronxites, it's like we got to stick together.